Hi, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Oh my God, I love the little picture, Kris Avalon TV, because that's what this is, bitch. Welcome to a new segment I'm going to be calling On the Line, because Wednesday Night Kiki is currently on hiatus until 2021. So we'll be back with a brand new show. But yes, I'm living for this little situation. This was the surprise, honey. Living for it. But anyway, yes. So basically, what we're going to be doing today is there's some topics that I definitely want to jump on the line and talk about. A lot of LGBT that came out. So RuPaul's Drag Race season 13. That the whole reveal was supposed to, how y'all liking my little Abraham Lincoln beard? I am going to shave it soon, but because No Shave November is over. But I just been lazy. I ain't feel like shaving, but so whatever. But yes, season 13. The cast of RuPaul's Drag Race came out today. We're going to talk about sorry for the misspelling. RuPaul. Yeah, so the season 13 cast came out today. We're going to talk about that. I'm also going to probably, well, not probably, I'm going to let y'all know some of the queens that are rumored, but I heard it's accurate, who is going to be on All Stars 6. So we're going to talk about that also. Also, we're going to talk about Wendy Williams. Her mother passed away a couple of days ago. She says it happened weeks ago. But her brother is saying something completely different. So we're going to talk about that. Apparently, there's a war between the Williamses. She ain't going to talk about it, but that's why I'm here. We're going to talk about it. I'm also going to bring in EJ Parker from Host Chat Live. He's going to definitely jump in and give his 2 cents on the whole Wendy Williams situation. We're also going to talk about Laverne Cox, this whole situation of what happened with her, where she was recently attacked in LA. I have my thoughts on that. I was a little harsh in my podcast on Saturday. Since then, I've cooled down. I said what I said, and my thoughts are still what it is. But we're going to break down the tea, and I have a more sensible view of what my thoughts. I've collected them all. So we're going to talk about that, and we're going to have a little conversation. Also, there's some True Blood news that I definitely want to bring past you guys, and we're going to talk about that. So those are our short 4 topics I'm going to talk about today. So let's get right into it. So season 13 of RuPaul's Drag Race, it was supposed to actually come out tomorrow, but yesterday, someone, I don't know how it happened, but it leaked on the line. They released a short trailer, revealing some of the queens, but they didn't let us know who was participating. Even though if you check on Reddit and all these other places, they definitely, you know who's on it anyway. Because the secret always is, if you disappear for a period of time, they pretty much know who's going to make it on the show. But then again, we've been under quarantine, COVID's been going on, so who's been gigging around in nightclubs and bars? Like, everything has been closed. So yeah, the list of queens came out today, and the new season is going to be premiering on January 1st of 2021. So New Year's Day at 8 p.m. on VH1. So the list of queens that are going to be on this new season is Denali from Chicago, Illinois. We have Elegant with 2 T's from Las Vegas, Nevada. We also have Got Mick from Los Angeles, California. I know a lot of people think her name is Got Milk, but it's Got Mick. And Got Mick is actually, the interesting part is, she is the first, and yes, I call everybody she, honey. This is the first trans man who actually is going to be on the history of Drag Race. So congratulations to that. Like, I live for the fact that we have a trans male on this season. So this should be relatively interesting. And I like his aesthetic, and I like the makeup and all that good stuff. We have Joey J from Phoenix, Arizona. We also have Kamora Hall, not Kimora, it's Kamora, from Chicago. So we got another Chicago girl. Now from New York, we have Candy Muse, who is the drag daughter of Aja, the queen. So y'all know Aja from previous seasons. So yeah, her drag daughter's on there. That's what I was like, when I see her, I was like, oh, Candy Muse is on the show. We have Lala Reed from Atlanta, Georgia. And another New York queen, Olivia Lux. We have Rosé, who I actually had the pleasure of meeting multiple times. She's a part of the drag group Stephanie's Child, who Jan Sport was on. Well, she goes by Jan because, when you can't use the name Jan Sport. Certain names you can't use when you're on these shows for licensing reasons and all that stuff. So we had to cut it to just Jan. So yeah, She's a member of the girl group Stephanie's Child, who I saw. I actually saw Stephanie's Child perform multiple times. One I saw they did a performance at Yotel in New York City around the time when what was it? It was Drag Race season 10, I believe, or something or another was happening, and they were doing the promos. And oh wait, no, I think it was DragCon was happening around that time. This was 2 years ago. And I'm trying to sit and remember. 2 years ago, I had just gone to DragCon, and then afterwards, it was a Saturday because I was with the Big Apple Circus at the time. So yeah, so I basically was the weekend I spent in New York. Thank God it was just around the time when we hadn't started doing the shows and stuff yet. We were still in rehearsals. So I took the train from New Jersey into New York with another friend of mine who's a party promoter because we were working together at the time. He was all doing what he needed to do, handling his affairs, and I was like, okay, so now I'm going to be running around with these Drag Race girls. And afterwards, I went to Yotel and went and saw Stephanie's Child. They performed. That was where all the queens were at the time. Like Eureka was there. I met Michelle Visage outside smoking in front of the building. Like there was just a whole lot going on with a lot of the girls. So they were just literally, I think all of them were in that hotel. And then there was Stephanie's Child did a performance. So this is long before Jan even made it on the show. So congratulations to Rose being on the show. So we also have Simone from Los Angeles, California, who is a member of, in case y'all didn't know, the House of Avalon. Yeah, she my cousin, bitch. Tamisha Iman from Atlanta, Georgia. And we also have Tina Berner, who y'all should know is legendary queen. She is a comedy queen. She actually won National Miss Comedy Queen in 2019. She's a well-known staple in Hell's Kitchen, so you know. And she was also on that show Queens of Drag with oh my god, last season's queen, who pretty much got dragged for all points all over social media, Britta. So yeah, so there was a lot of that going on. So, but I was like wondering, I was like, oh, so who's gonna get the villain edit? I think it's gonna be Tina. I don't want her to get it because she's very talented, and I think a lot of people aren't going to get her sense of humor because her sense of humor can be a bit abrasive. It's very dry, kind of like English, like the people in England, how there is. And so it comes off a little shady and a little harsh, but that's pretty much kind of how New York is. So she might get that villain edit this season. I hope she doesn't, but she's a legend in New York. So I'm hoping she doesn't go around trying to, with that same attitude that pretty much hurt Britta last season. So, and then we also have Utica Queen from Minneapolis, Minnesota. So this is going to be a relatively interesting season. I did hear that I did hear one of the queens makes a top 4, and that would be Got Mick. So there's this ongoing thing I'm hearing that the trans girls are pretty much going to be taking over this season and on All Star 6 because, honey, I found out today, well, it came out around October. But there have been rumors swirling that I don't want to get sued, so we're going to say rumor, allegedly. I don't want people coming for me on social media or whatever, you know, the big wigs. So we're going to say alleged. So allegedly, those who are going to be appearing on the new season of Drag Race All-Star 6 is going to be Ginger Minge, Silky Nutmeg Ganache, Jiggly Caliente, Trinity K. Bonet, Jan Sport, Pandora Box, Yara Sophia, Sonique, Akiria, Davenport, Raja O'Hara, Eureka, and Scarlet Envy. And I hear that the word on the street is that because Got Big did say that she wants to be the one to be the first trans performer to win Drag Race. But word on the street is Sonique may be the one that's going to take that crown. So and I've seen Sonique perform in LA at Hamburger Mary's, not the one in oh my god, why am I thinking the West Village? I had like a brain fart. But West Hollywood, not that one, the other one. And I can't remember what the other one is all of a sudden. Like I just had a brain fart because, you know, apparently word on the street is everybody who moved to LA is now moving to Vegas because it's cheaper. But you can fly back and forth to, you know, so yeah, you can fly back and forth from LA to, or even take a bus. Like you could do that because they're right next door, like a couple of hours apart. So it's kind of like, I guess, New Yorkers going to Pennsylvania or Connecticut. Like, it's just a couple hours and you're there. But yes, so I'm pretty much excited for this new season of Drag Race. None of the queens kind of jumped out at me. Like, there were some that I looked at that I thought was that I'm like, oh, they're cute and I'm really interested. Like, when I was watching them Meet the Queens, I wasn't really that in. They didn't get me excited. Like, the ones that got me excited, I like Gotten Mick. Love the look. Joey J, love the look. Kamora Hall, she's too pageanty for me. So I could see her possibly going home first. Candy Muse, because she's big and she's loud and she's brass. They love a comedy queen, so she's probably going to be the girl providing all the laughs. But I'm sure that Tina Berner is going to be the big outlandish one of the season. So I'm pretty excited. I'm looking forward to seeing this season. I'll probably be online doing little recaps and things of that nature. So we'll see how that all works out when the season premieres on January 1st on VH1. So now the next topic I want to get into is this Wendy Williams story. So Wendy Williams announced on Monday that her mother, Shirley, had passed away. She said it was peacefully. And we didn't know this. She said that she passed away a couple of weeks ago. Now, no one knew that her mother had passed until someone leaked it on the internet. There was like a little screenshot that I saw where this guy was talking about that Miss Shirley had passed and this and the other, and I guess nobody was supposed to bring it up. And yeah, so now it's getting really weird. So now they're talking about that. So Wendy talked about it because I was like, oh, well, her mother just passed away over the weekend. So that means that she's not going to come on and do a show. So she's going to take some time to go deal with the funeral and the arrangements and what's going on with her mother and fly out to Florida and deal with that whole situation. But no, she appeared on TV on Monday. Bright as rain, like nothing happened, like it was all good, and she did address it on the show. But come to find out, her mother died a while ago. So she had already dealt with the funeral arrangements and this and that, and the third, which I thought was relatively interesting. So she keep her secrets and things. So here's what she said. She was like, my mom passed away many, 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 many weeks ago. You know how you lose track of the day and time. All I know was it was a long time ago. The five of us, my mom, my dad, my siblings, the five of us, she will always be here. So she addressed it around she addressed it a minute 40 into in Monday's Hot Topic show. But the funny part now, okay, this is the funny, I should say, the gag of the situation is that her brother Tommy went live on YouTube interacting with his audience and said something completely different. So not only can Wendy Williams not get her celebrities and people and all this other stuff straight, she can't get her Hot Topic straight. She can't even get the timeline of when her mama passed straight. So her brother went and said, it's quiet for a while. My mom passed last Sunday. I've been doing my videos, he said in a chat around the 10:42 mark while responding to fan interaction. So basically, his timeline matches up with the public timeline, suggesting Shirley passed away this past weekend. However, in its direct contradiction with Wendy's story that their mother passed many, many, many weeks ago. So, here's the thing. People grieve in their own time. And I understand that, everybody is mourning and this, that, and the third, and all that good stuff. But what can I tell you? I guess maybe Wendy felt like it was weeks ago. Maybe it was something. But I'm like, girl, what is wrong with thy brain and thy memory? Because I don't know how, like for me, if my mother died a week ago, I would have remembered that. I'm not going to sit and say that she died weeks ago. Like you said, many, 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 many weeks ago. Like what's the timeline on that? But your brother is saying she died a week ago. And then it just came out because there's no way that her mother could have died a while back and that wouldn't have gotten out into the media and the press because somebody's always leaking something. It's like Wendy always tries to keep her own tea under wraps, but somebody's always gonna spill your own tea. Like how you think we was found out about the alleged drug use and all this other stuff. Like people from her own show were leaking information about her. So you know what? Condolences to Wendy. I can't imagine what it's like to lose a parent. Like my mother had lost her father a year ago. And the funny thing is today is my grandfather's birthday. He's been dead a year and today is his birthday. So I'm sure like this is not a good day for a lot of people in my family. When you got to think about that, it's like, oh yeah, your husband's dead or your father's dead, and today's his birthday. So I'm sure those memories are coming back, especially for my sister, because my sister was the one, she has nurse experience. She was a nurse, and she's had other jobs, but nursing is always something she's been in, and she's worked with a lot of senior citizens. So seeing my grandfather, who she was very close to, take his last breath, I know that could be a lot on someone. So I can even imagine, like, dead people freak me out. And there's been times when I can't go to a hospital to see a sick person or to even go to see a dead body in a coffin at a funeral. A lot of times I won't even go near it. I'm like, oh no, I can't. Like I have to sit down in the chair and not like that's something I just can't. I can't deal with looking at dead corpses and all that other. No, ma'am. So, and shout out to B Scott for that tea. By the way. Oh, and I should also tell you, so if you want to get the full, like, if you didn't see the Meet the Queens video and all that other stuff, or you want to see all the photos of the queens who are going to be premiering on the new season of Drag Race, you could definitely head over to tribe.com, which y'all can see I posted in the comments, and definitely check it out and see and leave your comments and stuff on there as well. You could also leave some comments on the live chat if you're watching, because that's another good thing when you go live. You can leave comments and this, that, and the other. I know EJ is. There you are, here. Yes, we got background music. I was gonna say, oh, I can't see you. That's why I was trying to type, but I see you now. Come on in. Welcome back, y'all, to On the Line, which is a little segment that we're doing in between, seasons of Wednesday Night Kiki, where I just want to jump on the line and just talk about stuff that's going on in the entertainment industry that I cannot wait to talk about on the podcast or in 2021 when we revive Wednesday Night Kiki with some special guests and some personalities that I have in the works, or I can tell you. So we're going to talk about that after the show, but I'm going to give you all a teaser. There's some people that's going to be coming into the show that's, going to be joining us and and giving their opinions and points of view and all that good stuff, because, I love conversing with people with different points of view. But yeah, you heard me ramble on a bit about my thoughts on the whole Wendy Williams situation and her relapse in memory. And the timeline and messing all that up and stuff. So, what you think of that? Yeah, we also need to talk about the upcoming Lifetime movie, because I want to get your opinion on that as well. But I know one thing at a time.
No, I did see your story about that with Wendy Williams, and this is something that I don't know exactly the whole story, but what I do know, it's not cute to make light of death. So I don't know exactly what's going on. Sounds a lot like family drama, and looks like we're gonna probably. I mean, Wendy's not gonna say nothing, but her brother may want a check. People are gonna dig. This type of stuff makes headlines for salacious reasons. We all know why. And shout out to Love B. Scott for pulling this story out, and we are chatting about it. But it's interesting, Kris. I don't know. I mean, you know, we spoke about her health issues weeks before, and now I think this all kind of underlines with this. So at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter when she died. It's just that she's no longer here. And I think we all know what that feels like. So, but we also know what it feels like, a crazy brother on the loose. So
don't I know it?
I think it's a little bit of
quiet as his kid.
Yeah. So right. But I'm here for the movie though. I'm here for the movie. You know, that's something we've been talking about. Waiting for it, waiting for this.
You're on the live now, so we can talk about it.
But right. Yes, definitely. You know, when she showed the trailer last week, it was definitely worthwhile. You know, I saw how nervous she was and stuff. So, I think this is something she really put her passion into. So, I think of all projects, I think this one is, you know, would mean the most to her, and it looks like they got everything to detail. So,
yeah,
wait and see.
Well, I guess anything could be an upgrade from that Aaliyah damn movie that she produced, because that child, you could throw that entire movie away. But and I don't think her biopic is gonna be like that. I'm really hoping that we get all the tea. Like, I want to know what was the true tea behind the fainting and all the other stuff that happened during the Halloween episode, because I don't think it had to do with lymphedema or whatever the case was. I believe she was probably under the influence. Anytime she goes through any situation in her life where she's dealing with death or, you know, the divorce or whatever the case is, to me, I think that's when she goes to drugs. So I'm thinking that time when we saw her drunk on that episode where everybody's like, what is wrong with her? What's going on with her? I think it had to do with her mother being sick. Some of the timelines and stuff are starting to come together. I'm thinking that time when she was on there, she was being a mess, and he has many mentions. Remember that when she was talking about Rick Ross? I think she was drunk due to what's going on with her mother. So anytime she deals with trauma, I think she resorts to drugs. The same thing with what was going on with her and the husband and the baby and this, that, and the other, and the cheating, which word on the street is, I mean, this should come, oh Lord, this should come as no surprise, shady picture, but I'll live for it because this is a shady ass show. Word on the street is Kelvin is not too thrilled with this biopic. So what I'm looking forward to is the fact that him coming out having some tea to spill about whatever the inaccuracies are, because he says there's some inaccuracies in the movie. But my thing is, if you are not involved, you don't necessarily know what's in the film to even determine what is inaccurate. You're only going by the trailer. And the weird part that the thing I've always found weird about biopics is the fact that it could come across as one-sided. So I'm hoping that, because, you know, Wendy doesn't have the ability to take a responsibility for everything, you know, not my fault. You know, cheating, not my fault. There's always a little fault in why situations happen in relationships. You just have to take the time to acknowledge what those faults are. What caused Kelvin to go? Now, I'm not saying that you have control over, like, forcing a man to go and fuck other bitches. I'm not saying that that's the tea, but there had to be something going on in your relationship to cause your man to go out and sleep with all these different people, and the whole lawsuit that happened with.
I mean, remember this story we spoke about
the Williams show. I'm sorry.
Remember this story we spoke. You brought up about the drug issue. Like, this is what Gossip Cop reported after the whole slur speech thing. You brought up a couple minutes ago. So things are sinking. It's just, I'm not sure if she's going to go that far. I don't know, and that's the $1 million question.
Mm-hmm. So we're gonna wait until this movie and the documentary. I was gonna say the docu-pic, the biopic, the documentary, and all that stuff comes out. We're gonna eat it up. We're gonna absorb it like a sponge. You know, soak it up like Monet changing a sponge. We're gonna do all of that, and then we're gonna dissect the situation and be like, okay, what's accurate, what's inaccurate, based off of me being a Wendy niece and following her career for over 3 decades. So we'll see how that turns out. You know, biopics are all about entertainment and stuff. And yeah, I mean, look, I'm looking forward to this. Like, I'm looking forward to the Madonna biopic. Like, I'm really excited about that movie when it comes out because she's trying to get that Oscar. But yeah, so and then I'm sure it's going to be a lot messier because, like I said, Kelvin is coming out here saying that there's some inaccuracies about what's going on with the movie, but we'll see. And your baby daddy, your hubby, he's encountered Wendy and Kelvin. What was it? Dimes and Divas. I remember. I think that's what it was back when she did that show back in the day, and it was a whole situation. And I remember him telling us that story. But we'll recap it around the time it comes around, and we'll see. Everything that's going on with that. So yeah. So I guess, what? We ain't got no more to provide on this whole situation. So what we're going to do is we're going to take another short break, and I'm living for the fact that things are working, that we got all these little things popping in. It's like I'm living for the show, honey. So when we come back, we're going to talk about Laverne Cox, and we're going to talk about True Blood. So those are the final two topics we're going to talk about. We're also going to leave it open. If you guys are watching, if you're tuning in, leave a comment. I'd definitely love to be on the line and read what you guys have got to say on the following two subjects. So if you have anything to say on season 13, or if you got anything to say about Wendy Williams, put it in the comments, and I'll read it when we come back from this very short break.